Today, I'm going to give you guys a tour of my desk, which is in a very small space, but is totally optimized for photo and video work. This video is sponsored by Squarespace, a simple and powerful tool to help get your ideas online. This workspace is in a small corner of our apartment. There used to actually be a closet, but it was the perfect size to fit this mid-century West Elm desk inside of. Honestly, I didn't expect this to be my workspace when we first set it up. I thought it was just going to be something in the side of the house and that most of the work would be done at the studio, but more and more has been getting done there. So I've taken that small amount of area and totally optimized every inch of it to get my work done. Powering it all is the 16-inch MacBook Pro, but I got to tell you, this isn't mine. I haven't upgraded yet. It was just the review unit, which you can see that review from a photographer's perspective. I already posted that video. But I love this machine. I definitely want one myself. And I haven't ordered one yet, but a lot of people have asked me about the base models, and I'll say that for photographers, the base model, the new 16-inch, is a fantastic choice. The only big upgrade that I think is really worth it is getting a big hard drive. I mean, obviously, if you have a few extra dollars, why not put a faster processor and max out the GPU? But you don't need to. You really can do a lot of photo and video work with the default configurations that Apple offers. But I found that upgrading to 2 terabytes in my previous MacBook Pro was the best investment that I made. It speeds things up a lot more than you'd expect. I don't always keep it in the stand because honestly, MacBooks have always had some problems when they're working in clamshell mode. If they're closed, they can get confused. So often I do have it open and I basically have 2 screens, but it looks a lot cooler and more organized in this slim, neat little stand. Obviously, all the links to the stuff is in the description below, so if you want the details, it's in there. Now, the most eye-catching and biggest piece on the desk here is the LG Ultrafine 5K 27-inch display. I realize that a 27-inch monitor is pretty big for this desk, but honestly, the 5K display is very helpful, both for photos and videos. You want to see what you're working on. I spent a long time where I was actually just editing on a 13-inch MacBook Pro, and I was shooting in 4K, but I never saw my videos in 4K for a long time. All that resolution and that pixel density really help out. Honestly, this screen is the closest match that I've found to my MacBook. So when they're sitting side by side, I don't notice a big jump between them. The LG does support P3 as well, which is the same standard of colors that the MacBook is using. In the back, it's got a bunch of USB-C and Thunderbolt ports, which can power and charge that new 16-inch Mac, even though it requires more power than the previous one. Honestly, I think at every level, LG has tried to make this the ultimate Apple display, except of course, you're probably thinking about the Apple Pro Display XDR, which, okay, that's the ultimate Apple display, but if you don't have $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 sitting around, this is a great solution for everyone else. It's got 500 nits of brightness, macOS and touchscreen integration, and a built-in webcam and speakers. So it's just this great all-in-one package that you don't really have to think too hard about. I know there's a ton of monitors out there, but I honestly think the LG Ultrafine is a great choice for any Mac user. Let's take a second to talk about this video's sponsor, Squarespace, which I've been using for many years now, both to host our portfolio and also a podcast. We can do pretty much everything you need it to. It's an all-in-one platform where you can either build your portfolio or a storefront for your business, set up email campaigns, and of course it has tons of detailed analytics for all of it. A quick message to any photographers using Instagram is their portfolio. You don't own Instagram, so they could change things at any moment. You just don't have control over the platform. So I've always been a big advocate of owning a little corner of the internet that you can call your own. And that's what Squarespace is all about. So head to squarespace.com to start a free trial. And once you figure out what you want to do with it, go to squarespace.com/Tyler Stalman and you can save 10% off your first website or domain. So thanks again, Squarespace. And that link is in the description below, along with links to everything else in this video. The keyboard that I'm using is the Satechi aluminum wireless slim keyboard. It looks a lot like the Apple keyboard, but I mean, it's a little bit thinner. It's more affordable and smaller with a number pad. I just like it. I mean, it's got a great layout. You can assign it to multiple computers. So you can switch back and forth with Bluetooth. Honestly, it's great quality and it can save you a few bucks. And then I'm also using the Satechi dongle. Technically, it's called a multi-port adapter. It has a bunch of USB-A ports, Ethernet, pass-through for USB-C, as well as an SD and micro SD card reader. I know we all complain about living in dongle town, but there is a bit of a way out. I've been trying to replace my cables as much as possible. So I'd recommend going and checking out these little Amazon basics from USB-C to whatever the other side is that you need. I try to get them for everything. The only thing I can't replace is a card reader, but I know Apple's never bringing that back. And another thing from Satechi is the Eco Leather Desk Mate. This is the big mouse pad / block of leather that just kind of covers everything. I'm using a pretty nice desk that I don't want to be damaged, so the leather keeps everything protected and my mouse can track across it easily. You can probably guess which mouse I'm using. It's the Logitech MX Master 3, which I've been using the MX mice for years, like 20 years, a really long time. I think they're great. They fit in your hand really well, assignable buttons. And an important upgrade from version 2 to 3 is it is now USB-C compatible because we want to avoid those dongles and adapters as much as we can. When it comes to audio, this is a small space confined with hard walls, and that can cause a lot of reverb. So I don't really trust speakers in there when I'm editing either videos or my podcast. Go to StalmanPodcast.com. I do have a little Bose sound link too, so I can listen to music, but when I want actual reference and I'm going to be editing something that I want to be perfect, I use the Sony WH-1000X Mark III noise canceling headphones. I've been using these for travel for quite a while already. They sound great, the audio profile is reasonably neutral, and they're comfortable, very importantly, so I can wear them for long periods of time. But often I find myself using the AirPods Pro more and more. They're not as good for reference audio, but they've become my default travel headphones so that whenever I'm on a plane, the noise canceling is enough in those little earbuds so I don't need to carry around big headphones anymore. And those Sonys are mounted on a simple metal stand I found on eBay made by Luxa 2. So that's where I get most of my photo and video editing done. Even though it's not a big area, it works great. But you can also see our bigger space. We did a studio tour after the renovations. It was a huge improvement. There's a lot of room over there, but when we're home, this is where I edit. Or if you want to see an even more epic desk setup, check out the one I did with Jonathan Morrison. And then he came on the podcast afterwards and we did a full breakdown. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. And what about actual computer setups? Like, are you a 2-monitor person, or you stick to your...
No, I've always preferred one good monitor. I've never really liked 2 monitors.
Do you do clamshell or on your laptop monitor? Like, what's...
If I have like a laptop with a monitor, I'll go like kind of dual, I guess, just because why waste the screen real estate?